Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Kerkoff,
And I'm Sara, Niccum.
and we're master's students in the Emerging Media and Design Development program. And we're here tonight to present to you our idea for the Freshman Common Reader Group, which we're calling the Freshman Common Experience. So we know that the Freshman Common Reader is an integral part of the first year experience for Ball State freshmen, but we also know that they don't typically engage with it to the level that we would like. Either they don't read it, they don't very effectively participate in the book discussion that happens after freshman convocation, or they don't attend any of the subsequent programming that the group creates afterwards. And so our Freshman Common Experience is a way to bridge the gap for the students that didn't read the book so they can still participate in the ideas of the book.
And the problem statement or design brief that we used to approach this problem is to create a variety of narrative experience based on themes in the book to engage a wider freshman audience than just those who read the book. So from that, we glean a few parameters for our project. We need to create a variety of narrative experiences so they can be customizable to the individual freshmen so that they can personally engage with the experience we create. It needs to be related to themes in the book, but also not necessarily so closely that the freshmen who didn't read the book won't be able to engage with the events.
So we conducted a multitude of face-to-face and also digital in-person interviews. And all of these interviews, especially the ones with extreme users, who are people who are really actively engaged with reading in some way, shape, or form, led us to these two key findings that have guided the development of our project. The first is that users must be able to self-identify with the experience for it to be significant to them. So we need them to understand that even if they don't think they can relate to the book or an element in the book, they really can, and we need to be able to show them that they can. The second is that people seek to create narrative experiences that they can express themselves in real life. This really came out in our extreme user research. The Harry Potter fans, the Doctor Who fans, they want to be able to take the elements of the story that they really love and that they really engage with and express it in their everyday lives. And so our problem statement and our key findings led to our experience, which is customizable for each freshman. They'll be able to interact with the elements that interest them the most. The second is that it's going to connect them with themes from the book, whether or not they read it. So they may not understand that it's an explicit and direct connection, but they'll still be able to connect with it. And the third is that it's going to provide them takeaways for their discussion groups after. It will make the discussion groups more effective, and it will also enrich their lives on Ball State's campus for the next 4 years.
So using those constraints that we took from our key findings in our design brief, we came up with the freshman hallway walkthrough experience, which we will build here in the lobby that goes into Emens Auditorium. We chose to focus on 3 themes from the book that we thought were important as laid out by Firuza and Funny and Farsi, this year's Common Reader book. And those 3 themes are culture, community, and food. So going into the auditorium before the convocation, the freshmen in their discussion groups will be split off into 2 hallway experiences. One will be built for the community theme and the other will be built for the culture theme. And then our third theme, food, we know that if any one freshman or group of freshmen doesn't get to experience the food, they're all going to be mad. So while they're in the auditorium at their convocation, we will flip the hallways, and as they exit through the same hallways, everyone will get to engage in the food experience.
So we created a mid to high level Fidelity prototype, and you can see here in this quick 30-second video how we did this out in the hallway, just right out here. And what you're seeing in this video is what we walked our 5 users through and solicited their feedback. So in our community hallway experience that we've created, we're going to feature these 3 off-campus community hubs. And these are really lifelines and staples in the Muncie community that freshmen are not necessarily going to know about if they're not from Muncie. And these places can really enrich their lives as Ball State students if we can just get them there, if they just know about them. So the first is downtown Muncie, which also includes and incorporates First Thursdays and the Arts Walk. The second is Cornerstone Center for the Arts, and the third is Minnetrista. And then each hub within this hallway experience will have a booth with general information, class schedules, prices, that kind of information. And then there will also be an interactive experience or demonstration to draw the freshmen in towards that area.
Okay, so in that video prototype of our community hallway experience that we built out, the first venue that you saw was for downtown Muncie, and we especially want to highlight the First Thursday experience, which takes place on the first Thursday of each month. It's a free event, so all freshmen could get to it. And as part of our interactive installation for that exhibit, First Thursday is based on community artists and mingling with the local art galleries, talking to the artists, and also getting to know other locals in the community, asking about what projects are going on, what events are coming up. So for our interactive experience at that exhibit, we're going to have a community art piece that the freshmen build before they go into the convocation. On the prototype, you saw those pieces of paper hanging on the door that someone had scribbled in marker. Those were originally intended to be individual art pieces that they could take with them, but from user feedback, we learned that they would prefer to have a community experience that all the freshmen can contribute to. So that'll be our interaction at the downtown exhibit, which relates to First Thursday, of course, and then obviously we'll have information about other events, especially free events going on downtown that the freshmen can enjoy while they're in Ball State. The second venue that you saw in our prototype was Cornerstone Center for the Arts. Cornerstone has a lot of community events, some of them free, some of them not, but they also have skill enrichment opportunities for everyone in the community, including the freshmen. So you can take fine arts classes, dancing classes, private music lessons. They have all kinds of tools for the community to engage with, and many freshmen, even graduates of Ball State and other people who've lived here for a long time, don't know about Cornerstone, but it's a great resource for the community. So we'd like to point this out to the freshmen. For our interactive demo at this station, we're going to have salsa dancing. One of our users pointing out that salsa dancing is really easy to jump into. You can do like a 30-second, 1-minute demo, learn a couple quick moves, engage with the music, take a couple selfies with your friends, and it would just be a great way to engage with the experience and also have fun in your discussion group. The last venue that you saw in our prototype was Minnetrista, and this one's really important because Minnetrista is walking distance from Ball State. They have a lot of free events for the community. They also are a community gathering place. That's what they call themselves, for Muncie. And they showcase the history of Muncie, the Ball Brothers Foundation. So it's a one-stop shop for the freshmen to get to know their community, the history of their community, and also interact with the exhibits on the top floor, which are rotating. Right here we have the Human Plus exhibit, which is there right now. And of course, the garden at Minnetrista is a big part of what they do. They have a lot of events there. People can go take their pictures, just because it's really pretty and a free resource for the community. So for this interactive experience, we'll have a selfie garden. We'll have Minnetrista bring in potted plants or whatever other kind of decorative installation they want to bring to show off the garden at Minnetrista. And we're going to promote the hashtag Freshman Common Experience so that they can sit in the garden, take their selfies, have a nice takeaway from the experience, and then also promote the community and narrative part of the hallway with the hashtag. So how does this experience satisfy our design brief? First, we are creating a variety of narrative experiences because individuals can customize their walkthrough experience. So they'll have different exhibits in each of the hallways. We're only talking about community, but they'll also have the culture and food. So individuals can make connections to their major if they want to do some volunteering while they're in Muncie, or anything that interests them, they'll be able to glean from walking through the hallways.
The second is that we have explicitly applied themes from the book Fidelity and Farsi with community, culture, and food. We specifically pulled out the community to prototype because Firuza does talk about how influential her community was on her and her family's ability to fit in America. And then the third thing is wider freshman audience than just those who read the book. Since we have a captive audience, this is being set up as they're walking into the freshman convocation. We're going to hit both the freshmen that have read the book and those that have not. But even bigger for us than that is that they will, even more than that is that they will be able to make those mental connections with the themes from the book before they go to their discussion groups. So that will enrich their discussion groups and their time later in Muncie. We did various usability testing throughout the development of our process, of our project, and these 4 key features came out from our users, and we've incorporated them in the project that you've seen today. The first is that we need to incorporate social media more. That is the narrative experience part of our project, and so we developed the Freshman Common Experience hashtag to facilitate that. The second is that there has to be follow-up. So they have experienced this hallway, and that's great, but what do I do with it afterwards? One of our users suggested perhaps an all-encompassing or continually updated website that pulls in event calendars from all of our community hubs, a one-stop place that I can go to find the events that are happening. Another idea might be a monthly email. However, we know from personal experience that it would have to come from a single entity on campus, like the Freshman Common Reader, rather than Ball State as a whole, because if it came from Ball State, it's just going to go in your trash can. The third is the interactive exhibits. If we didn't have some kind of interaction or demonstration with each of these community hubs, it would be really easy for the freshmen to just walk right past into the auditorium and not engage with these people. And then the last thing is to incentivize wherever possible. Free admission, free tickets, free anything are going to draw the freshmen out into the community effectively.
So to wrap up, we just want to touch on some points once again. The experience we've created is accessible to all freshmen, whether or not they've read the book, and it pulls out themes naturally from community environments, cultural environments that they'll be able to engage in and bring into their discussion groups and their lives at Ball State. Whether or not they actually read the book, they'll be able to form connections with those themes. Also, it's customizable for each individual, so they'll be able to connect with it in whatever way that they think works best for them. And in that way, we think they'll have a much better takeaway from our freshman common experience than exists currently. So, thank you for your time.